Hello everyone, Brad Wood here, covering basic authentication in CommandBox today. Now, basic auth has been around CommandBox for quite a while, but I got a little bit of an overhaul in a recent version, and it's kind of been rolled into our new security system, which has additional authentication mechanisms other than just basic auth, including client cert authentication. And the other big feature is basic auth used to just apply to the entire website, which was kind of limited, but now you can choose exactly what pages in your site you want to support with basic auth. So there's a new chunk of configuration inside the web object, and that's called security, and that's where all this lives. If you're using the basic auth configuration that's at the top level of the web object, that will still work, but we've moved the primary authentication configuration to the web.security section. So there's two authentication mechanisms that are supported by CommandBox now. There's basic auth and there's client cert auth, and our goal is to add more. There's quite a few more that Undertow supports natively. We just need to expose them all. And then we have the addition of a new auth predicate setting, and this applies to any authentication mechanisms, whether it's client cert or basic authentication. And you can specify specifically what URLs in the application. It doesn't even have to be a URL. It's any valid predicate from our server rules or the Undertow predicate language. So in this instance, you can see you could use a regular expression that said any request started with Lucy admin case sensitive is false, right? I've mentioned this several times, but I don't recommend using path or path prefix. Those are inherently case sensitive, which is not going to work well if you're on Windows, because someone can just uppercase the path and it will not trigger these. So until a future version where I can get some case insensitive versions of these, or unless you're on Linux, I recommend you use a regular expression with case sensitive equals false. So let's set up basic authentication just to review how it works. The documentation here is under security, basic authentication, and we can see where this all fits under web. So the auth predicate is shared by whatever authentication mechanism that we're using, and then basic auth goes right there next to it. So first of all, we'll do server set web.security basic auth.enable is true. So we'll turn on basic authentication. You need to configure at least one user. So basic auth.users, and this is a struct where the key is the username, and I'm sorry, yes, the key is the username and the value is the password. So users.brad equals pass. I want a second user. Users.luis equals pass2. Very, very secure stuff. Okay, so I've enabled basic authentication for my application. I've defined two users for it. And then let's go ahead and set an auth predicate. So server set web.security.auth predicate. And again, this is any valid predicate. So I'm going to do, despite what I told you not to do, I'm on Windows, but I'm still going to use path prefix because it makes for a really simple example here. So any request that starts with admin, you do not need to have slashes before or after. It'll automatically do that. So as long as the first full folder name starts with admin slash something, right? That'll kick in. And then let's dump the word main site into an index.cfm at the top level, and then let's create an index.cfm inside of an admin folder, and let's echo admin area into there. So I have a main portion of my site. Oops. I have a main portion of my site, and now I have an admin folder. And my server.json looks like this. So basic auth is active. I have two users, and it should only apply to the admin folder. Sweet. Let's try it out, see if it works. Start up my server. Okay, here she comes. So here is our default page, main site, and we're able to view that just fine. And if I go to the admin subfolder, then it says, oh, you need to sign in. So I can specify username Brad, password PASS, and now we're into the admin area of my site. So it's pretty simple. What's nice about the auth predicate is you can make it really whatever you want it to be. So this can be a combination of predicates. It can be, every folder but a certain folder. It can be this folder and this folder, this folder or this folder or this folder. It can be requests that end in .pdf. It can be requests to CFM files. It can be certain HTTP methods. Whatever you want to represent with your auth predicate, it doesn't matter. But as long as that predicate is matched, then the basic auth will kick in. I didn't show up. You can also set the realm. I don't think the realm does much of anything other than usually showing up in the browser pop-up asking for the user to type in their username and password. So that's it. That's basic authentication. It's pretty straightforward, and that's what it looks like. I'll do another video here in a bit showing how to do client-cert authentication, which is significantly more complicated than basic auth. There you go. Have a good one, and happy basic authing.